Elden Ring really bothers me because it burned me the first time and then it got good. Isn't that such a disturbing reward cycle? That something that was just like awful to you can like be better on the next pass because you understand like how to like milk more like instant gratification out of it. That's the problem with games like Elden Ring is the meta revolves around beating bosses, right? But the only way you can beat bosses is by like obtaining enough power. And so they do this very subtly, but it's like you like in the game you gain power by running around the map, which they give you a speed boost for. So now you know one skip. You can run to that bonfire at the end of the forest and get your speed boost fast, right? And then that's you've adjusted the rate of rewards to be higher. And then what is it? You learn to identify like carts and like that every camp is like the same, that they all have like a little basement area. So now you're speeding between camps and looking for basement areas instead of exploring, and so you've increased the rate of reward even further. You realized how shallow clearing the entire camp is, and you're increasing the rate of reward even further. And then they do something really sinister. They bring in an old classic from Dark Souls, where Dark Souls presents itself as a very linear game, but there are non-linear paths that you can take through Dark Souls that also give you power increases, believe it or not. And so, instead of taking the master key and running to grab the grass crest shield at the beginning of the game, you're running all over the goddamn place on a speedy horse, skipping everything, with the map rushing by you in a blur, and the terrain very quickly changing, and landmarks appearing very quickly, and you have to identify these landmarks all of a sudden, and you have to like you go through and you're picking up all these items now, and now you've skipped like the entire like start of the game, and you've like completely skipped Margot or whatever, and you're like running around Stormvale Castle or whatever, like looking for items and just like skipping bosses or whatever, increasing your power level. You're going through the Great Rune of Godric. You're like that deep into the game that early because you've identified so many like landmarks. Everything's super labyrinthine, but it's designed in such a way that like if you go into the place, like there are distinct landmarks every time you go in there that you need to like run through. In fact, people barely give a shit about like doing the Godric part, but the problem is like there's so many one shots in there that you actually end up. Oh, did I mention you're collecting sites of grace too? You're not just collecting items, you're collecting sites of grace, fast travel points. And so now you're positioned at this very short run from this fast travel point to the bridge that leads to Godric, and so you've found like the final challenge like very quickly, and you're running through and you're getting one shot, and you're running through and you're getting one shot, and you're running through, and it's like, wait, hold on, like I can get this. Wait, hold on, I can get this. Wait, hold on, I can get this. It's literally through the front door to the right to the right. It's so easy. It's the easiest thing. You can't fucking miss it. And then you just run past a bunch of giants and stand behind a pillar. It's like it's like that. The game just piles on rewards. The game spreads everything out in such a way that like the you just repeat like the same process of disregarding content, and it's like now there's like, oh man, how do I start? Like there's a split narrative between people testing and inspecting the game that makes them sound like irrational to people who are deep, true followers to the game, who understand that its mechanics like reduce in difficulty and increase like in rewards rates in these ways. And so like um some person's ready to approve it, someone else is ready to consume it. Um and, and it's a sinister fucking thing. It's a giant sinister thing predicated on increasing speed and navigatability. I hate open world's nasty like that. Open world's so nasty like that. Non-linear doesn't need to be open world. uh you know these little basements that you get these like instant rewards from. There's no bosses in the basements either, you know, not like you wouldn't keep challenging them or whatever. But like, oh my god, you get exhausted when you find like the challenges in the game, and like you just have to like break off, and then you come back, and it was right after you got exhausted, and you break off and you come back after getting exhausted again, and you break off and you come back after getting exhausted again, and it's fucking nasty. It's habit forming. Elden Ring is a fucking habit forming game. Oh man, there's no part of me that would ever desire to like, by the end of it, there's no part of me that would ever desire like using hacking tools to like access PvP or whatever. You know, PvP isn't the end game in Elden Ring because there's so much to explore. You could complete the entire thing. You could be a completionist about Elden Ring. And now there's a speedrunning community for it too, and you can speedrun 100% on Elden Ring all day. Uh